Hello, my gorgeous darlings. It's half term, and I've decided that whatever happens, I know they're talking of extending this lockdown until May. We have to make our own happiness, and we have to be happy, even if we don't feel like it. I must admit, this morning when I woke up, I had that horrible, dreadful, real misog feeling of deep anxiety and worry, and sometimes I do wake up a little bit like that, and you have to get that power of happiness back. And I did, because I'm wearing yellow, my favourite colour, and look, it says happiness. And as soon as I did that, you know, my mindset, it all changed. Boo, however, is growling over there, so she's clearly not feeling happy, so I'm going to rub some of my yellow on her. Hang on a minute. Here she is. Oh, Bobby, you don't need to be grumpy, do you? You're going to be happy too, like Mummy. Look, see? You're going to be happy like me. Look, she's saying hello to everybody. There we go. There we are, darling. You go and have your treat. So be happy. I know that sounds a lot easier said than done. And I'm lucky because I do have quite a sunny personality. However, I do suffer with PTSD. And like everybody else out there, I have terrific anxiety about things. And I know I've spent quite a bit of time talking about this, but it's just because most of the emails I'm getting are still so much to do with mental health. And as I said on last week's video, our children whose brains are wired differently, people who are differently able, disabled, whatever term is comfortable for you, before COVID, they were 2 to 6 times more likely to pick up an additional mental health issue. And just last week, I heard another dear friend of mine, Tom, his son had lost somebody, an old childhood friend, just like my own 2 older sons did back in December. And these are boys, young men in their early 20s, presenting perfectly normally, but there's a whirlwind going on inside their heads because of these uncertain times that we're living in. And so if you know somebody who's a little bit quiet around you, or is on their own, or you feel is very good at kind of stuffing everything inside them, give them a call, give them a FaceTime call, drop them a text. You know, keep your eye on them, be kind, spread the happiness, spread the yellow. It's my favourite colour. And sometimes it's the quiet ones who are the real ticking bombs. As I've said many times, you know, the people who do so much and seem so on top of things, and they're the ones. Watch out for those too. But you know, self-harm before COVID flew up by 68% in 5 years, and I know that figure must be huge now. So it's really important we stay in charge of our mental health and our happiness. Now, how do we do that on our own? I know I've shared a few things like Get Your Daily Dose, Riding the Wave of Mental Health, and all these other videos recently. And I'm trying to think of lots of different ways, because sometimes what I share isn't for everyone. They might not like it, you know, they may prefer something else. It doesn't resonate with everybody. So what I'm trying to do is share as much as possible. And as so much of it is touch, which boosts immunity, which is exactly what we need right now, but we're all being forbidden to do it. A lot of what I'm sharing is to be self-administered. I'm sharing this on my Zoom sessions too with people and my workshops. It's self-administer, because if you can self-administer, that leads to self-awareness. You'll know when those feelings are building, and that then leads to self-regulation and self-management, and all of that is really empowering. And the minute you do that for somebody, well, help them do it for themselves, I should say, it's really, really empowering. So it's a really important thing to be able to take control and be happy. So while we're waiting in these big long queues for therapists, and I can imagine that, well, I know my lists are huge. I know that, you know, a couple of my children recently have needed help with mental health, and the queues are huge. Cam's already had over a year's waiting list before COVID, so goodness only knows what it's like now. So while you're all waiting, I'm really waffling on this morning. I've got a bit of verbal diarrhea going on. I'm so sorry. Perhaps I should take an Imodium or something. These are the things, the tools we can have to help ourselves. And I really, really hope this will help. Please, please give it a try, because honestly, it works. I did it this morning, and look, I'm full of yellow now. doesn't take long. It takes 5-10 minutes, that's all. And your whole day can be different, because what we put out there is what we attract. And if we're continually fear-based, that's what we're going to attract. Everything boils down to fear or love. And I know on our really terrifying days, it's so hard to feel that love. And I have days where I'm terrified. You know, I have things going on the same as all of you do. But, you know, I try and flip that from a place of fear to a place of love, and I try to take charge of my own mental health and what I'm putting out there, what I'm attracting in to my little bubble. So everything I'm sharing with you can be done, as I said, regardless of ability, whether you're in hospital, whether you don't have much mobility, whether you're isolating in a bubble or alone. You can even do these things if you're having to get a bus because you don't have access to public transport and you're having to get a bus and you're terrified about being on there and picking things up. So it's to be happy. A key thing is that we need to sleep. So I'm going to give you a few tips for that, because immediately if we get a decent amount of sleep, we're much more able to cope and function. We're not using up our melatonin, our serotonin, the hormone of happiness, to try and get to sleep. We're not up all night stressing or online or, you know, because when that happens, we have used up our daily quota of serotonin, because believe it or not, as I've said on previous videos, we get a daily quota. That's if we're not clinically deficient in serotonin. If we don't make enough serotonin, we then can't make melatonin, the hormone of sleep, mood and aggression. So I'm going to share with you a couple of tips on how to really help yourselves get a good night's sleep, because lots of people aren't sleeping. A lot of our kids have become nocturnal. I know that mine went through a phase where they were getting up kind of in the afternoon, probably to avoid me because they know they'd be dragged into being filmed, but staying up till 3-4 in the morning. So this is a big one, because we need those hours of daylight. We need our bodies, our endocrine systems, to produce enough serotonin to make the melatonin. So I'm going to teach you some self-massage techniques, or share with you rather. I don't like the word teach. I'll share with you a couple of massage techniques for that, to help with that. And then I'm going to share with you a couple of other massage techniques to help relieve anxiety and stress. And you can do these at any time of the day when you get that awful feeling building in your solar plexus or your tummy, your second brain. The gut holds on to fear, anxiety. When you feel that rising up, you can quickly do these exercises, or you can do them morning and night. Just top yourself up as and when. So for me, be happy. I'm wearing my happiness. I'm in yellow, always a good sign, but always a bad sign for the public, because it usually means if I step outside of my house, we need a public health warning, because it's my favourite colour, and I spread like a yellow fever. It's like a rash. Anyway, happy. So H, hormones, happy hormones. We're going to fill ourselves with happy hormones. A, anxiety. Let's give it, as I always say, a flipping good bash. P, the pleasure hormones. I'm going to teach you, share with you how to stimulate a couple more different massage techniques from what I've shown before to help you get your brains and the vagus nerves surging with that happy hormone. Then we've got the next P of happy, and that is the power of touch. It's been removed from us, but there's nothing wrong with us administering it on a friends and family basis and self-administering it. Boosts immunity, boosts the happy hormones and the coping chemicals. And then Y, of course, is yellow, my favourite colour, because I want you all to have a bright yellow half term, a bright yellow week. No juggling, homeschooling, hooray! I'm already surging with happy hormones over that one. Honestly, it's driven me nuts, this mad juggle. Anyway, so off we go. We're going to be happy. We're going to be happy. Ready? So, sleep. The first thing is, if you look at your thumb here, and you get the pad of your forefinger and the other thumb, and you're just going to press very lightly at the base of the thumb, and then you're going to move up the thumb very gently, very mindfully. The more mindfully you can do this, the better, because anything to do with meditation or mindfulness helps to fill the memory of 37.2 trillion cells with those positive memories that you can cope and function. You are doing okay. It's stressful times, but guess what? You're in charge. You're in charge of not what happens externally, but how you deal with it. Always in life, even before COVID, I've always brought my children up to know that we can all be victims, everybody. And it's not life's cards that are important, it's what you do with them. And while I'm in this yellow fever mood, kindly given to me by my friend Rich, I just want to share with you. By the way, I'm going to the base of the thumb. I'm always going from top to bottom. And then you do the other thumb, because don't forget the fingers are both sides of the brain. So yes, while I'm in this feverish yellow mode, what I would love to share with you is that if life gives you a bash, pick up the nearest huge frying pan and give it a good belt back. It's what you do with your life cards. Honestly, if I told you the story of my life, first of all, you'd be here all day and you definitely wouldn't be happy because you'd be losing the will to live. But like everybody, I have my story. And it's an extraordinary one. And I could have broken many times. But I always had a handy frying pan. Just to let life know. I'm Italian, you know, I have to use these analogies. Anyway, so that's that one. And take your time. And you're always going from the base of the thumb to the top of the thumb. The next one you can do, and this is really, really beautiful, is you press your fingers down on your right palm. And then you just press your thumb on those inner points of the wrist. And this will stimulate melatonin. All of this I'm showing you stimulates the thumb, especially the top of the thumb is the head. And here you've got sleep points, melatonin points. Boo, I need to do it to you. The joys of COVID and filming from home. Apart from Boo hasn't got wrists. Boo, Boo, come on darling, you can come and join in. I never watch my videos back, as you can tell, and I never edit them. I just think, let's keep it real. So if I have to plunge off in a minute, it's to rescue my dog who needs a few happy hormones. She's probably seen a bird in her airspace and is completely livid. So then you fold your fingers down, and you do the other wrist. And it's advisable, particularly before you go to bed, spend a good 5 to 10 minutes on each wrist. But you're pressing. It's like an acupressure point. Like Japanese shiatsu. So it's just that little point there. So you find it by folding your wrist down. You'll feel it. It's a little bit hollow. It's like between the tendons there. And do it. And every time you do one hand or one wrist, do the other, because you're balancing both sides of the brain. And this is how you naturally stimulate melatonin. You know, I know lots of youngsters, they're taking diazepam, they're getting hold of it. They're smoking weed, they're taking codeine. They're doing all sorts just to try and get to sleep. And if you can just try and do this, it's natural, it's free, you're not going to get in trouble. Just give it a whirl. Just give it a whirl. So now we're moving on to the A, to give anxiety a good bash with our frying pans. I'm right into cooking today. I'm making a delicious dinner for my children later, but that's neither here nor there. It's good. Eat healthily. Eat healthily. H could be healthy eating. It's up to you. So, anxiety. The first thing I'm going to show you, well, I've shared it on previous videos actually. If you curl your palm and you find that deepest point there, that is your anxiety point. So give that a really, and I don't just press it, I massage it. I really get it going up from the gut. Boo, I wish you had a palm, darling. Might need to massage your temples, the capital city of happy hormones and coping chemicals. And then you do the other hand. And it's as simple as that. So if you're sitting on a public bus, you're in a hospital bed, you're in a wheelchair, you can do this. And you're working on your tummies, you're working on the gut, and you're pushing up the happy hormones and coping chemicals from the gut. 90% of our serotonin is in the gut. That, absolutely, if you imagine anxiety like a flame beginning to build up, well, that's like somebody, if you massage there, it's the equivalent of the happy hormones peeing on the parade of anxiety. Think of it like that. You're releasing it, it's peeing on the anxiety parade. I'm feeling quite feisty today. I think I need to change the colour of what I'm wearing because I'm always so misbehaved when I wear yellow. I do love it. Anyhow, so then what you can also do is pull your 4 fingers of one hand and pull them gently with the other hand. Stretch them, but keep your fingers loose. Keep your fingers really nice and loose. And you're doing it gently and mindfully. Don't go at them like a savage and pull them really hard and dislocate them. That won't fill you with happiness. That will fill you with pain. And what we want to do here is think of the pleasure hormone. P for the pleasure hormone and not P for pain. God, I wish I could behave. I don't know what's got into me today. I do apologise. I think I rubbed my palms a bit too much and released too many happy hormones. And now you're being unleashed with the yellow fever. And then, of course, like I always say, you do the other hand. And I'm gently pulling. Very gently and mindfully pulling. And if you remember from a video a few weeks ago, I shared with you about what each finger means. And don't forget, anger, aggression, what you can't digest. This one is fear. So this one is grief, relationships. And this one is not feeling good enough. Remember all that? So you're also working on all of that. And all of those things contribute to stress and anxiety. So you could quite easily, even I could do this discreetly, even in a public place. I'm not suggesting for 1 minute that you go and stand in front of your town halls and do this. Or buy all the checkouts in your supermarket. Although you could while you're waiting in the queue. Just not above your head or anything. You can do it discreetly. And then the other thing you can do is if you get your thumb and vigorously rub the whole of your palm, you are massively pushing up that yellow, Y for yellow, you're massively pushing it up because what you're doing here, you've got stomach point on the left hand, you've got the gut, you've got your anxiety points. This is like giving your body a big massage and your brain and getting that dopamine, the hormone of pleasure, rising up the vagus nerve on that gut-brain axis up to your brain, and you're pushing up the serotonin, the happy hormone from the gut. So it's not like you've just got a frying pan to bash this anxiety with. It's like you've got a whole range of bright yellow Le Creuset, really, really heavy pans. See? And then you'll be full of this, yellow and happiness. So I'm going to leave you on that note. Please try and get some good sleep. It's really hard when you're worried, but these tips will honestly help. I used to suffer terribly from insomnia. And honestly, these techniques help me. And I never need to, you know, even with nightmares, it can really help with that. If I wake up from a really bad nightmare or a flashback or a memory or nasty dream, if I do these things, it really, really helps me. And it calms me right down, lowers heart rate and blood pressure. So your hands are really connected, the muscles are really connected to your brain, but also to your gut. So get those happy hormones flowing. And really, I know how hard it is. I really do. I know these are frightening times, they're dark times, they're confusing times. But grab your moments of yellow, grab your moments of happiness. And I do believe that it has even spread to Boo, who is now lovely and relaxed. Boo, do you want to come and say bye-bye to everybody? I'm going to go and grab her. She's been a little pickle today. Here she is. Look at her, all happy. I'm going to massage her temples a little bit. Capital city of happy hormones and coping chemicals. Ah, Bubby Boo, you've been a little bit cheeky on this video, haven't you? So like a mum. Anyway, have a gorgeous week, everybody. Wear yellow. Oh, the colours you wear really help your mood as well. So I might have to change because I think I'm going to be a bit outrageous if I don't. Stay happy, everybody. And I will see you next week. Take care, my darlings. Bye-bye.